Every now and again I like to go to the National Portrait Gallery, and one of my favourite things to do is actually spot a face, find a character, find a painting and delve a little bit further into them. That's how I've came up with stories for you sometimes in the past, in between going to regular shows and exhibits, so I always make sure I have content. I was doing that this day, and it actually was one of those kind of golden nugget days because it was a sunny day, really beautiful. And first of all, I had a great view of the Tracey Emin doors, one of the newest pieces by Tracey Emin, which will be a permanent feature to the gallery. I see sometimes so many people just walk past this and not take it in, and they don't actually look and see that the gallery itself is part of the artwork. Actually, before you've even entered the building, publicly available is that work, and I just love that. This is me taking a little selfie of myself in a lift, which I found quite funny because this picture afterwards, if you ever read of this, was a self-portrait by this photographer, and I came across it and grabbed my attention straight after just doing that, so I thought I would share. The next one I want to move on to is Dame Vivienne Westwood. So this one is by Jürgen Teller as a photographer. And it was a mood, it was a vibe. So I started by the pansies. It was a certain kind of blue greyness in the actual filtered kind of style picture, yet the roses stood out really well. The bubbles around it were other roses, the lilac kind of colours, the tone of the blue lipstick. So it wasn't like it was a plain filter overall, it's just it had a blue kind of grey eeriness to it. And then you can see the textured cardigan, which really made me feel of the sayings that Vivienne used to say, is, for example, buy less, choose well. And you can see that she's really took pride in those clothes, and they are, yes, her brand, but you can see they've been worn into. It doesn't look like she's just picked up a new thing straight from a rack from her store. It looks like it has been loved, and she probably has done the garden or sat in the garden with that. It had a lot of nice meaning, and it's just a feeling, I feel, for me, why I chose this picture personally. Then I was just lucky enough to come across this other photographer here and see this group photo of Vivienne Westwood. This one was much more lively. It felt like a campaign shot and less of a personal one. It also felt like I was wondering if she got where you got Andreas and there and the rest of her team. I was wondering if this is models or people from her studio. I know she was quite notorious for sometimes picking people she thought looked good or people that worked in her studio. Some of these make me feel like they could be fashion students, and I wonder what all the stories of these individuals may tell. How was they feeling on this day? Why was they selected for a picture? How do I feel now? Where are they in the fashion industry now? If anyone knows any of these people, do drop me a comment, or if you are one of those people, because I just find it really intriguing and such a beautiful, beautiful story, and made up so many stories in my head by watching this. Moving on now onto the next bit, I started to have a process, have a think, and then come across this Russel Tovey piece by accident. Now, I love talk art podcasts, and seeing this piece, it kind of reminded me of Russell when he was in American Horror Story. It was a little bit sexy, it kind of was a little bit suggestive, and at the same time it had a sense of urgency that you could see in the brush marks and the strokes of the fillers. It was, dare I say, almost homoerotic art, and I really liked this piece. And when I viewed down afterwards, and I could see that it said it was by a friend, and it said it was done in one setting, and it just made me think about the relationship between the artist and the sitter, and it just had a lot of innuendo there, and I was so fascinated. And then after that, perfectly with what we've just been thinking about, Vivienne Westwood, Russel Tovey, celebrity, I then stumbled upon this Alan Wintour piece. I've seen it many times before, I'm not going to lie, but it's normally got a big crowd around it, and actually, as it was a hot summer's day, it was nothing better for me to be in a cool gallery with lots of space and to get these pictures to see, which I normally love and normally are too crowded to enjoy and get up to like this. So this was a win for me. I had a quick look at Russell's piece again, and did go by the gift store where I was obsessed with the Tracey Emin pieces, and got one of the mugs, I'm not going to lie. I hope you enjoyed this and this little visit to show you what faces you can get into NPG and just to have a look beyond. And if you've got any stories to tell, do drop me a comment, and thank you for watching as always.